By the time 1917 rolled around, Russia was in the throes of a multitude of crises. World War I, which had been ongoing since 1914, had placed an immense strain on the Russian economy and its ability to provide for its citizens. The war effort had drained resources, and supply chains were stretched thin, leading to dire shortages of essential goods. The lack of food and basic necessities had caused widespread suffering among the population, particularly in urban centers. The discontent among the Russian people was further exacerbated by the autocratic rule of Tsar Nicholas II. His reign was marked by a firm belief in the divine right of kings and a reluctance to cede any real power to representative bodies. This had created a stark divide between the ruling elite and the common people, setting the stage for growing resentment. Adding to the turmoil was Nicholas II's wife, Alexandra, who was of German descent. Given the ongoing war with Germany, her heritage fueled suspicions of her loyalty and even allegations of espionage. Alexandra's reliance on Rasputin, a mystic with a dubious reputation, for advice and influence within the royal court only deepened public mistrust and led to rumors of corruption and scandal. As discontent reached a boiling point, Petrograd became the epicenter of a series of protests and strikes. On February 23, 1917, according to the Julian calendar, female textile workers took to the streets to demand better working conditions and food availability. Their protests sparked a chain reaction that quickly evolved into widespread demonstrations involving workers, students, and soldiers. The demonstrators united under the banner of the Soviets, which were councils representing various groups and communities. The situation grew increasingly dire for Nicholas II, who found himself at a crossroads. He was receiving conflicting advice from his advisors. Some urged him to suppress the protests using military force, while others recognized the need for significant reforms to appease the masses and avoid further upheaval. However, the Tsar was hesitant to relinquish his autocratic powers and opted for a middle ground approach that ultimately satisfied no one. Recognizing the need for a drastic solution, a group of nobles and generals approached Nicholas II and convinced him that abdication was the most prudent course of action. On March 2, 1917, the Tsar reluctantly signed his abdication papers, effectively ending his reign and that of his young son, Alexei. The throne was now passed to his brother, Grand Duke Michael Alexandrovich. However, Grand Duke Michael's refusal to accept the throne without the support of a constituent assembly highlighted the complexity of the situation. The winds of change were blowing strong, and the political landscape was evolving rapidly. The Russian people were demanding a more representative form of governance, and the monarchy's symbolic grip on power was weakening by the day. Nicholas II's abdication marked a turning point in Russian history. It paved the way for a transitional government that was short-lived and faced immense challenges in trying to navigate the country through the turmoil. As the months went by, the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, seized the opportunity to take control. The October Revolution of 1917, Julian calendar, brought the Bolsheviks to power, and they eventually established the Soviet Union. Tragically, the Romanov family's fate took a tragic and brutal turn. Held under house arrest, they were later transferred to the Ipatiev house in Yekaterinburg. The Bolsheviks, who had gained power, saw the Romanovs as a potential rallying point for counter-revolutionary forces. On the night of July 16, 1918, the entire family was executed. The abdication of Tsar Nicholas II marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new and tumultuous chapter in Russian history. The Russian Revolution of 1917 and its aftermath had profound implications for the country and the world, shaping the course of the 20th century and beyond. The fall of the Romanov dynasty was not only a historical event, but a symbol of the sweeping changes that were reshaping the world during this transformative period.